Welcome. My plan for tonight was to help you actually make a simple card instead of going to the store and buying a package of cards. I thought that that might be more fun, at least for me. I always have this big, bold plan, and then it doesn't always work out that way. You know, I start out saying, yeah, I'm going to do that, and then things just don't work out that way. I have done it this year, so I'm good. Most of my classes involve a sketch, almost 99% of them. So a sketch gives you a basic idea for the card. So that's what started this card, this sketch. The measurements are on it, so you don't have to try and figure anything out. So if you, and there's a ton of them posted on my blog, karamiller.com, click on blog. If you're just losing, you don't know where to start. Now maybe you're thinking, okay, that's great, but I still don't know where to start. I have a sketch now. That doesn't help me because I don't know what I need. Well, the first thing you're going to need to figure out is how many cards you're making, because that will determine how detailed you want to get. If you're making 3 cards, then you can spend an hour on each card and it's really okay. If you're making 33 cards, not so much, unless you started in June. But you still want something that looks like you spent a little bit of time and energy, you thought about it. Doing a simple card with really cool paper is amazing. It really steps it up. So this card, I put together a supply list for you too of what I used, and I offer these at every class so that you know. But you can also print them out. They show up on my blog and you can kind of scroll through them, but you can print them out, and that's always nice to have to put it. So if you put the sketch and the supply list together and a picture of your card, then you've got it in the future when you go to do it again. So anyway, this is the Year of Cheer Specialty Designer Series paper. It's really awesome. It's not double-sided though. A lot of Stampin' Up! Paper is double-sided. So let's say, okay, that's great, but I'm not really that foo-foo-y, or I don't have this paper and I need to make these cards today. So I'm going to make a not so foo-foo-y one. This is also done with heat embossing, which is amazing. But again, not necessarily a beginner skill. And we're going to make the card look pretty awesome without that. Heat embossing needs a heat gun, just so that you know. Embossing powder, Versamark, and an embossing buddy. And that's all you really need. It seems like it's really crazy. It's not. There'll be some classes this week on heat embossing. So stay tuned if you want to do that technique. But for tonight, what I want you to do is just let's put a card together. So the first thing you're going to do is create your card base. Remember, that's right on the sketch. It says 5.5 by 4 1/4. That's when it's folded. Okay. So I take my 8.5 by 11, I cut it in half, I fold it in half. Now I have 5.5 by 4 1/4 base card. Next, I need this green piece. I'm going to use green. This is from the Quilted Christmas collection. Double-sided is super cool, but I'm going to use the green, and I cut this at 5 1/4 by 4. So that's ready to go. In the sketch, it says ribbon, and you can see I used the silver ribbon here. Well, maybe that's not really going to go with this one. So in this case, I'm going to use some twine, some jute twine, and that's going to go across. Okay? All right. This is where we were when the lights went out. We are ready to do the 2 1/4 circle. And the circle that I use is this really cool punch. I love punches for the simplicity of them and the ease of them. The other thing that you're going to want to do is figure out what stamp set do you like. This stamp set is the Carols of Christmas, and I really like this in that it has these really great sentiments that are big. So you could just do the sentiment on the front. This is Peace on Earth, and if you look really close, you can see it's really detailed. My thumb got it dirty already. It's really detailed, so it looks like you got really carried away, even if you didn't. And the person that you're going to give it to, they don't know how you made it. They're going to be blown away when they open that card up and realize that you made it for them. They're going to be so impressed. Okay, so I need the 2¼ inch circle, and I need something on it. So what you're going to do when you're choosing, now you have a hard time because you may not have these to choose from. So what you're going to do is you're going to look at something, say, I really like that. You're going to pick up either your phone, your computer, your laptop. You're going to send me a message and say, hey, Kara, I really like I like the stamps from, Santa Paws. I love that. Will that fit on my 2½? Will that fit in there? What can I do? What can I use that with? And it's my job to help you figure out what you need to use that stamp. And I'm happy to do that. That is what I do. I will help you figure out which one works for you. So in this case, no, this isn't a good punch for you. I don't want you to buy it if you're not going to use it. I want you to buy stuff you're going to use. And I want you to use it and use it and use it. So I'm not here just to tell you to go stock up on things and fill your closet. I'm here to help you figure out what you need for your project. So for example, if you love Santa Paws, one of the things that might work really well for that is one of the stacked Thinlits. See how these look? This one is called Lots of Layers. This goes with the Big Shot, and you would cut out a shape and those animals would fit in it. That would work really well. So if you were going to do a bunch of cards and this was the one you want to use, then you're going to want something a little different. But again, you just pick up your little machine, reach out to me either through a Facebook message or an email, and I'll be happy to help. In this case, I'm going to use, these are the ornaments. So I'm going to do the same stamp that I did on the other one, the really fancy foo-foo-y one. But I'm going to do it on a little, I'm not going to make it silver. So here's my card base. Honest to goodness, those bugs are back in here. I have 2 now. Those of you who've been following me know I'm freaking out because these bugs are floating right around in front of me. I'm going to see if my husband's nearby. Hold on. Hey, Bert, I have 2 bugs. Can you come help me? And I'm live. Okay, sorry. I'm going to keep talking, and we're going to hope that the bugs go away. Oh my gosh, he was walking right up there, and there's one in the light. Oh, maybe I have 3. So, anywho, he's right there. Where the other one is? We got rid of the air conditioner today, so hopefully Mr. Bug is gone. Oh, thank you so much. I might call you again. So instead of using the silver and the heat embossing, I'm going to go with either green or red. I'm going to go with red because green and red go together for me. So I'm going to go with the cherry cobbler. And I'm going to get this all set up. And I'm going to just make sure I've got good inked up. Make sure that my ink is all over my ornaments. And I'm going to come over here. And there's my ornament. I pressed a little too hard in my bug fever here. It's supposed to have a cold front come through tomorrow and be really cold and rainy. I hope all bugs are now removed from my area. It's okay though, because what I'm going to do is take my punch. The cool thing about punches is you turn them over so you can actually see what you're punching. And I slide this in. And see, I want to try and hide that little boo-boo that I made. So what I'm going to do, I need to be down a little more. See how if I want to be right there and I can't. So it's easy enough to just do it again. So I'm going to take it, open up my ink. Oh, let me do this slow. If you've not used Stampin' Up! Inks before, it can be a little daunting, and you look at it and think, Notice there's 3 little dots right there. You push down on the little dots, and it pops open. And then you flip it open and slide it back. These are created like this so that the ink is always on top. Okay, so remember I said I think this should be up a little bit more. So I'm going to do another one and just come up a little. I don't have my boo-boo there, so that's good. The reason I got the boo-boo is because I pressed down too hard with the stamp. Again, bug fear. So now I'm going to slide you in, and I want the ribbons to kind of be off the edge, but I want to make sure that my things are lined up. When I get them in place, punch, and you're good to go. So you could easily do 33 of these and not lose your mind, right? Okay, so now a couple things that I have to think about. The jute that I'm using is narrower, and I'm thinking, well, that's okay, but it doesn't really have a lot of, doesn't really pop. I'm going to go back and look at my sketch and think, well, what's different? Well, what about, this is the other side of my card that I trimmed off, but it doesn't go with my ink. Ugh, no. So I don't like that. But maybe I could just take a little strip of white, and that would be okay. So the reason I'm telling you all this is that maybe you just aren't going to take the sketch and literally do it exactly the way you think it was done. This is a piece of white that was cut from something else. That looks kind of cool. Maybe I want it just a little bit thicker though. So hold on. I want this to be, see what an inch wide looks like. That might be too wide, but let's check it out. And I'm going to take the twine and I'm going to wrap it around so it gets a little bit more body to it. Instead of just the thin twine, I'm going to do 2 of them. Like so. But I need to keep them in place, and they're kind of wobbling around. So I'm going to flip them over in the back, and I'm going to use a piece of washi tape. You could use Scotch tape, it's not going to show. And I'm just going to put this in the middle of this on the back, so it's going to hold it in place. Hardest part about this is finding the end. Right? I'm just, as I'm working, I'm thinking, okay, what else? Could it start raining in here? It's been kind of a weird night. It is 2 days before Halloween. And I'm going to go around and come back up. Now that's where I want it to end, is right there. So what I'm going to do is put a little piece of snail . And just to keep everybody in place, I'm going to wrap this around. And wrap this one around. Come over here. Tie myself a knot. I've made this really hard for myself. There. I could have just used wider burlap ribbon and been easier. And then I'm going to put my adhesive on the back. But because this is thick, I'm not going to go with straight adhesive. I'm going to go with dimensionals. Dimensionals are awesome. And one of my favorite things about Stampin' Up!, they're little pieces of foam with adhesive on the back, already pre-done for you. And I'm going to put one on either side of the twine to kind of keep it in place when I put it on the front of the card. You just peel off. Right, Debbie's saying you use what you've got. You do. All right, now this guy, I'm ready to put this down. But honestly, these end up being the best cards. You start out with sort of a plan, but if you're going to make Christmas cards, I recommend that you make one and see what you like. That's where the kits come into play that I offer each month. The kits give you an opportunity to try something and see if you like it. And if you do, it comes with a list and you can then duplicate it. You have time to do this. It is not too late. You have plenty of time to get your cards done. And then you pop this under here. And then I'm going to use, this is the other punch that I use so often. It's the Everyday Label Punch. I think that's its name. Let me look. Nope, it's the Classic Label Punch. The Classic Label Punch is what did this. This, Merry Christmas, because it's so little, but I like that. That came from the Teeny Tiny Wishes stamp set. This is one of my first ones I bought, and I've used it 100 times. It has every holiday, basic sentiments, and they're little. They fit really, really well on this punch. So if this is one you don't have, I highly recommend that you add this to your wish list. This one you can use over and over and over again. So I'm going to grab Merry Christmas, and I'm going to use the same ink. I tend to be super matchy-matchy when it comes to those kinds of things. And that paper that I was doing this on. Merry Christmas. Again, you turn the punch over so that you can see what you're doing. I love this idea. And then I line it up and punch. And then because I have this on white, I'm going to do this just right here. And I'm going to grab some enamels and pop them on. These come in sheets. You can use the rhinestones, which is what I used on the card that I showed you earlier, or they come in lots and lots of different colors. From pastels, you can get them that match. You can do the silvers and blues. These colors are really cool. Lots of different options. I'm going to go with my gold. These are the metallic enamel shapes. I'm going to pop those on the end so it looks like I've attached them. And here's a really same card, same sketch, and a different look. Okay? So now you're looking at this and you're thinking, well, you know, that's great, but I don't have a punch. I don't have this punch. I don't have this punch. I can't really, that doesn't really, I don't want to spend that much money right now. What can I do? I can buy some paper, so I can get a pack of paper. I would make 2 layers. Yes, you can do it like this, but it's kind of bendy, it's kind of thin. It again looks kind of like the Walmart card that you might have bought. But if you get yourself a pack of cardstock in colors that you love, for example, this is the Regals. These come in really bright colors. I'm going to go with, this is that same Cherry Cobbler. So now On my list of things I need to get Whisper White right here. I need to get Whisper White envelopes. Skip, 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 skip. I need that stamp set. And I need a block. And I'm going to get the Memento ink. The only thing, you're not going to get the designer paper. You're going to get just your cardstock in a color that you love. So it's just a pack. And I'm going to get my trimmer and show you what else we can do. This is still the 5 1/4 by 4. Five and a quarter by 4. You need some kind of adhesive, just stick it on down. This is the snail. It's super easy to work with. It's super easy to refill. And I'm going to stick that down. And then this is that stamp set that says Peace on Earth. And I'm going to take my ink. Ink it up. And you can do it that way, or you can turn it over. You want to make sure you're good and inked. And what's cool about this is you can look down and see, am I missing anything or do I have it? And then I'm going to line it up right smack dab in the middle. And honestly, I could do just that simple. I could also do, let me show you another way that you can do something really cool. Again, the same cherry cobbler, but instead of having it just like this, I'm going to take the Whisper White and I'm going to do another layer of Whisper White on top. So now I have a nice border around it. Inside this stamp set, you also have these really great borders. Now, these are thinlits. I'm not suggesting you need thinlits today because that means you need a big shot. They have these really great borders. And they have these really cute leaves, holly leaves. So let's say, instead of my card going the other way, and make sure that you don't have black ink on your thumb. So now my card's going to go this way. I'm going to have that great border. I've already got it messed up. Make sure you have clean hands before you start. And I'm going to take my Peace on Earth, and I'm going to go in here in the middle. Okay. Still basic, nothing crazy. I'm going to take my border, this cute little border, and I'm going to put it up here. This is all from that same one stamp set. And I'm going to come down here. And then I'm going to take my holly leaf, and I'm going to go in the corner up here. Oh, I think I need 4. I'm very matchy-matchy. And again, I'm only using the tuxedo black. I can use 100 different colors instead if I don't want to go with black. Then I can take this and my dimensional, and again, I'm only using cardstock. I've not added anything else to it. A minute, and I'll show you exactly what I used and get these little pieces off. And then we have that. Basic, yet simple and homemade. You didn't buy it, you took time to make it. So what did I need to do this? Oh, and then I have my envelope, and I can take my envelope and take one of the really cute, maybe I'm going to grab the reindeer from the inside, and I'm going to put it along with the holly leaf, and I'm just going to pop him on the back of the envelope. Well, I'm going to stamp him really well. Make sure that he's stamped really well. And then I'm going to pop him on the back of the envelope. So now, this goes in my card. There's my card, and I'm good to go. Okay? So what did I use? I needed ink, a stamp set, envelopes, cardstock, red, white, blue, green, whatever color you like, and some Whisper White for my card. There you go. Probably less than what you would spend on a box of Hallmark, and you could use this over and over and over again. You would use, clearly the envelopes and the paper, that doesn't matter. These, yeah, it's kind of Christmassy. Peace on Earth could easily be done for New Year. So you would get more use out of it than just one thing. And there's tons of other stamp sets. I just picked this one. Remember I showed you the Santa Paws. Love Santa Paws. Santa Sleigh is really cute. I suggest when you're looking, though, that you find something, one of my faves, something that has a sentiment that you can use so that you don't have to have two. If you find one that doesn't have a sentiment, like I was suggesting, the Teeny Tiny Wishes, that's a great one to have in your library. Never goes out of stock, and you can use it way more often. Everybody's really quiet. I'm sorry that this ended up being such a technology extravaganza. I promise I'll put everything on the blog for you so that you can check it out. And seriously, if you have questions, or you're wondering, or you're thinking, gee, I wonder if I want to do that. Maybe I do. I don't know if I feel confident about it. Drop me a note, tell me what you're struggling with, and I will help you figure it out. That's my job. All right, everybody, thanks for coming. I thought we would be done way sooner than this. Hadn't planned to keep you forever. Oh, Debbie's telling us she just put a birthday card up using Carols of Christmas. Awesome. That one is this one. It's really a cute set. It really is. All right, everybody, have a great night and a good weekend, and I will see you all soon.